Good afternoon, class. This is the class for October 18th, and it is an asynchronous class. I'm going to begin talking about the evaluations that we have. This is how things are right now. We would have an oral activity next week, which is mine. And after that, the quiz, which is also going to be mine. So both of these are going to be on the first date, but I am proposing to Sylvia to make some changes. In my case, next week, we would be preparing for the oral activity and for the quiz. And we would do the oral activity on the 1st of November in my class and the quiz on the 8th of November on my class also. Okay, so that is how it would be now. I'm going to ask Sylvia if she can maybe move these oral activities here so they are not all together, but I will tell you about that later. Now, regarding the quiz, it is a role play at a restaurant, so we will be working more with food and also with expressions like it says here, used in a restaurant, ordering, giving instructions, and using sequence words like first, second, later. That would be the quiz. Regarding the the oral activity, I will explain it to you next week, but it has to do with occupations, which is what we're going to see today. Okay, so let me find my book. Okay, this is, I'm going to show you where we are. We worked on this last week. It is unit 7. Okay, unit 7, and here we saw some vocabulary about occupation, and we ended here. So we're going to continue with this is the last exercise we did. So we're going to continue with these words of majors and job titles. Remember that I have insisted that you are not studying a career, but a major. So this is what you study, and this is what you are. Right? Let's say that you're studying English teaching, and then you're going to be an English teacher. This is more or less the idea. So this is the recording of these majors and job titles, but I'm going to read them for you. The first one is accounting or accounting. You can pronounce the T or you can eliminate the T because there's an N here in this word. There's an N before the T. So often that is going to be deleted. So accounting, and the person would be an accountant or an accountant without the T. Psychology, so your major can be psychology, and you will become a psychologist. Biology is the major, and you will become a biologist. Journalism is the major, and you would become a journalist. Physics is the major, like in Rosny's case, he will become a physicist. This is funny because it has two S sounds, right? Two physicist. Chemistry, observe the spelling here, which is CH, and the sound is K. Let me enlarge this a little bit, okay? So chemistry, and the person would be a chemist. And if you study economics, you will be an economist, right? So all of these end in, except the first one, and with ist. That would be the job title, what you're going to be yes, what you're going to be. And the major, we can see a variety here, but some of them are similar, like psychology, biology, and chemistry, and in a Y. Besides that, well, they are different. Okay, so you're going to listen here. Oh, just give me a second because I have to share again, but with the sound. Okay, you should be able to listen. So I'm going to show you the option, and I'm going to try to show it to you before you hear it. So you can pay attention if the person is saying journalism or journalist, and also pay attention of the whole sentence. Try if you can, see if you can understand the whole sentence. So the first one is
distinguishing between majors and job titles.
1. He's a journalist. 2. I study economics. 3. Elizabeth is a psychologist. 4. Are you an accountant? 5. I majored in biology. 6. She's a physicist.
okay. Sorry, I have to stop it because we were here. She's a physicist. And then let's listen to the last one. Chemistry or chemist.
7. Do you study chemistry?
Okay. So I hope you were able to do that. Now, this exercise, I'm going to read the vocabulary and you're going to do it in the PowerPoint. I copied it in the PowerPoint. You can see it right here. Okay, so you can do that. Just match the words. I'm going to read them to you. When I read it to you, especially so you can get the correct pronunciation, remember that we are going to have a lot of schwas. So the first one is company. So you're not going to say company, but company. Remember the expression we learned, don't mention it. Don't mention it. That means it's all right, don't worry. Like saying with pleasure or yeah, or you're welcome. Yes. Experience. Find out. We already talked about this. To find out, this is a phrasal verb and it means the same as, it can mean the same sometimes, but not all the time. To realize. Find out would be darse cuenta de algo, which is the meaning of realize. We have full-time, full, not full, right? Full-time with a schwa. Journalism, reporter, remember the ending in ER. So we have report, to report, and the person who does that is a reporter. Part-time and public health. Public and health. That last sound, th, health. So read the sentences and match it with the correct word here. Okay, and we are going to go to the next one. So this is about making a complaint, and this is related to the quiz. So it says, think about problems at work. In which of the following areas are problems more common? Select 3 and compare with partner or group. Give reasons for your choice. Okay. We're just going to look at it as a vocabulary. So where are there problems at work? Working with others, Okay, like in your groups, when you work in groups, what kind of problems are there? Lack of feedback or support. Let's say in a classroom, that could also be the relationship or the problems that you have with the teacher, that they don't give you feedback or support. Responsibilities. Let's think in our classrooms, are the teachers, no, do the teachers, let's say, show all of the responsibilities, or do they have all the responsibilities in a class? And how about your responsibilities? Are you doing what you have to do? Work environment or conditions. This is so important in a class or in a job. The environment that you are in can make you happy or can make you sad, can make you a good student or a bad student. Pay, well, we don't have pay, right? Time off. Time off means when you don't go to work. It can be because there's a holiday. It can be not because you are sick. That is called a sick leave. I can't write it here, but it's called a sick leave. Una incapacidad, for example. But you can ask for time off because you have a problem, or we have to move, or maybe if you have a, let's say for men, if their wives or partners have a baby, then they can ask for time off. Overtime is when you work more than the schedule that you have to work. Sometimes overtime is paid and sometimes it's not. It depends on the company. Deadlines, okay? When we say that something is due for a certain day, that is a deadline. So if you have a project, you can say the deadline for the project is next week. Okay, so we're going to match the underlying words and phrases with definitions. Compare answers with a partner. I am going to read them and I'm going to show you the options and I'm going to give you time to choose one. But also, please try to read with me. Like, for example, if I read this, then I will give a couple of seconds so you can repeat it. And then we'll look at the option. Okay? Number one, each department in the company has a manager who handles many problems and is in charge of a small team. Read. Okay? So, which one is it? In charge of, does it mean someone who cooperates well and helps others for the good of the whole group? Does it mean in control or responsible for? Or does it mean customer? So in charge of means to be in control or responsible for something. All right. Number two, in a busy company, employees often have to carry out work that isn't one of their duties for their job. You read. So we're looking for the definition of duties. So speech or talk with images, graphs, and information. Find out or produce tasks and responsibilities. Okay, so what does duties mean? It means the last one, tasks or responsibilities. Your duties in a job is what you have to do. Okay, number three. Although it might sometimes be tough, it is important to meet deadlines because other people's work depends on things being finished on time. Okay, now you read. All right, now deadlines. Does it mean a day or time in which, by which a piece of work should be completed? Money paid per month for doing a job? Tasks and responsibilities. Okay. It is, sorry. It is the first one, a date or time by which a piece of work should be completed. Number 4, if you stay in a job for a few years, if you work hard and take on more responsibilities, your salary should increase. Okay. Now you read. Okay, so what is the meaning of salary? By the way, there's a word that is celery, very similar, and it means apio, but it's spelled different. Celery. Okay, but this one is salary. So salary as a date or time by which a piece of work should be completed, in control or not responsible for, money paid for per month for doing a job. Okay, so it's the last one. The salary, just in Spanish, salario, means the money you are paid per month for doing a job. And number 5, managers and assistants should always work their hardest to keep their client satisfied, even if they are sometimes very demanding. Okay, so read. All right, client, who is a client? A customer, a manager, someone who cooperates well and helps others for the good of the whole group. No, you can see how this one is so different because it's so long. A client is a customer, okay? Someone that you are going to service or going to buy goods or services from you. Number 6, working in a group or team is sometimes the best way to come up with an answer to a difficult problem. You read. Okay, so here what we have is a phrasal verb, come up with. To come up with, what does it mean? It means answers or means to progress past a problem, find out or produce, in control or of or responsible for. It's this one, to find out. So to come up with an answer is to find an answer, right? So this very, very useful phrasal verb. You can use it very often. So we have to come up for an idea for the role play, or come up with an idea for an activity out of the university. Like when we went to the beach, we had to come up with an idea of something we could do. Okay, number 7, if you have a problem at work, you should talk to your supervisor about it. Who is your supervisor? Okay, read it. The manager, someone who cooperates well and helps others for the good of the whole group, or a customer. Okay, so a supervisor is this one, the long one. Someone who cooperates well and helps others for the good of the whole group. Okay, he is supervising that the job is being done correctly. Number 8, it is very important to be a team player. When working in a busy office or on a project involving many other people, a team player is, oh, I'm sorry about this one. A supervisor then would be a manager, And this, a team player is this one. Yes, so the problem is that there are managers and then there are supervisors. That's why I didn't think of that, that was the meaning. Because the managers often not the same position as the supervisor. Okay, but let's say that's what they meant. So it would be this one, someone who is a team player, right? Number 9, in order to explain an idea or tell customers about a new product, an employee may need to make a presentation about it. Can you read? A presentation is a date or time by which a piece of work should be completed. Someone who cooperates, we know that is not speech or talk with images, graphs, and information. Of course, that's the answer. Okay, this way. Now, number 10, everyone in a team needs to work together to find solutions to problems. So read it. Solutions in control of or responsible for, answers or means to progress past the problem, money, paper, map for doing a job. So this one, right? Solutions are answers or means to progress for problems. Okay, so go to your book and do this on your own. You know, try to, you like, maybe like tomorrow you can do this exercise again and you can check your answers there. Okay, we're going to listen to some conversations and then we are going to answer the problems there. It's this is the last part. Okay, so it's not a lot. There's just some conversations with 2 questions and then with 3 questions. So remember, let's read the questions first. Who is the supervisor, May or Kate? What clues did you use to decide this? And then number 2, why is May complaining to Kate? How do you know? Okay, so let's listen to this one.
Listening.
Kate, may I speak to you for a minute?
Sure, May. What is it?
I'm having a problem with one of the other account managers. She's always late for work, so I have to do her work too.
Did you discuss this with her?
I talked to her last week, but she is still coming late every day. I had to make a presentation to a client for her this morning.
Well, let's talk to her together and see if we can come up with a solution. Meet me in my office at 3 o'clock.
Thanks, Kate.
Okay, let's listen to it again. Who is the supervisor and what is the problem?
Listening.
Kate, may I speak to you for a minute?
Sure, May. What is it?
I'm having a problem with one of the other account managers. She's always late for work, so I have to do her work too.
Did you discuss this with her?
I talked to her last week, but she is still coming late every day. I had to make a presentation to a client for her this morning.
Well, let's talk to her together and see if we can come up with a solution. Meet me in my office at 3 o'clock.
Thanks, Kate.
Okay, so did you find out who the supervisor is? The supervisor is Kate, right? And May tells her about a coworker who is coming in late and who is making her work more. So you know that is Kate because May is asking for advice and explaining the problem. And at the end, it says, what clues? Kate says, let's meet in my office. So that will tell you that Kate is the supervisor. Okay, why is May complaining to Kate? How do you know? Okay, she talks about several problems from one of her co-workers. And that she comes in late, that she had to do some work for her. And that is the reason that we know that we saw that May is complaining to Kate. So that is what is going on. So May is telling Kate that there's another coworker who's not working well. She's complaining to Kate. Okay, so está dándole quejas a. It would be something like that, but see that there's a very concise way a word to complain. When you complain, you are saying things that you're not satisfied about. Okay, let's do this last one. And in this case, May has a problem with a colleague, with an account manager who is always late. So we saw this. May tried to solve the problem by talking to a client about it. Oh, and here we're just checking if it's true or false. Kate decides that she will talk to the account manager alone and tell her to change her behavior. Okay, let's read it again carefully so we can just listen to the conversation one more time and you can know. So May has a problem with a colleague who is always late. True or false? May tried to solve the problem by talking to a client about it. Is that true or false? Kate decides that she will talk to the account manager alone and tell her to change her behavior. So let's listen again.
Listening for specific information.
Kate, may I speak to you for a minute?
Sure, May. What is it?
I'm having a problem with one of the other account managers. She's always late for work, so I have to do her work too.
Did you discuss this with her?
I talked to her last week, but she is still coming late every day. I had to make a presentation to a client for her this morning.
Well, let's talk to her together and see if we can come up with a solution. Meet me in my office at 3 o'clock.
Thanks, Kate.
Okay, so the first one, does May have a problem with a colleague who is always late? That is true. May try to solve the problem by talking to a client. That is false. She tried talking to the colleague, the account manager. And Kate decides that she will talk to the account manager alone. That is false. She said that they were going to both talk to her, right? They're going to meet and talk together about it. All right, so this is the first part of the class. I'm going to record a second part about the future. It's going to be pretty short, but I hope you do. If you already did this and you're listening to the end of my recording, please go on and do that part about the future so we can have the material that we need for the oral activity and the quiz. Bye-bye.